I would say, I'm gonna take a risk. I've been ambivalent about a project. It's difficult for me to present. I tend to run away from presentations. I don't like to speak in public or groups. And but I've been thinking that I should do it for myself. I mean, at least give myself an opportunity to say something and elaborate a little bit more.
Mhm.
So, but I've been struggling a little bit with. Okay, so I was paired with three people in our group, and then most times I'm in the last few months, but most times I take a little while to email somebody, and then usually um, most people email me before I do, and then I it, I was going to email Jim, and I didn't I was paired with somebody else after like a week, and then but I never heard from him, and then Masumi too at one point, and then I think she ended up choosing Jim to do a focusing partnership. And then Kate, finally she got back to me. This is the second time that I haven't heard from her. I didn't initiate, I guess, and after a while I don't hear from them, and I guess I protect myself by not reaching out.
Mm.
So I would say that maybe I'm being overly sensitive, but in some ways I'm feeling a little discouraged and pushed away. So I guess thinking about this model where we support each other in order to do something, I guess maybe feeling a little unsupported. But and I just didn't want not to say anything, and I know I'm raising conflict, but it's important. I think I'm risking. I guess I'm steering the pot a little bit, and I don't know. Sometimes in our group, I think it's not well received. Maybe not. So. So I guess just that's my opinion right now. I mean,
So
about the models, so maybe I need to be supported in order to do a project. I guess.
right.
Yeah.
So you need what I hear is that you need us to acknowledge and talk about you're not being responded to before you would feel like you could take this risk to talk about a project, to take your 10 or 15 minutes to do that. So you need us first to respond to this feeling unsupported.
I'm a little surprised, Roberto, with the idea that you feel unsupported by the group. Could you say something
No,
about
I was basically saying, I guess mentioning those, there's three people. You know what I mean? And then, um, so it's not necessarily the group, but um,
I mean, we got together about a month or so ago.
no, I know with you it's not a problem, but I was wondering why I didn't hear from the others. And I guess my where I'm coming from, I'm in a process group, right? And then so I think the longer we are together, that we are starting seeing each other, our our qualities are coming out, and then I think we might rub off somebody the wrong way, or we might start projecting into others, or vice versa. And then so aggression, right? They call it aggression, microaggression, comes out in different ways in groups. And then so maybe this is the way it's coming out. So that's what I'm saying. I think is normal. The thing is that is I guess we can talk about it. So that's all. I'm not saying from the group in general, but I'm saying by not hearing from these people, then I'm feeling, they're pushing me away. I'm not, something happened, and not saying something about why
Right.
they're
You
not
want to
working.
check out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
express your feelings and check out
yeah, yeah.
why Jim and Masumi and Kate didn't get back to you and arrange a
Although
partnership.
Kate just did, what was it, a couple of days ago, and so we're gonna partner tomorrow night. So which is great, you know,
Okay.
grateful for that.
So it's, but the feeling is there something wrong? Is this, are they, is it a microaggression? Or did you do something, or is there something between you? And you need
Right.
to check that out before you can take the risk to talk about a project.
Yes.
Would you want to check that out now?
I mean, if people are willing to talk, I mean, it's fine. Although it might be taken away from what we're talking about now, but
Maybe that's your project,
oh.
Oh my God.
you know?
I'm curious, Roberto, about it. Is that your project? Because you've been coming out more and more in
Yeah,
the
no,
group about
it
your.
was interesting. I guess what I thought about it, I had two ideas in mind, and then one was to talk about my father's side of the family, and then um, and the reason I wanted to do that is because I just feel that in my family, or um, I would say immediate or extended family, so less is being said about them, you know, and then so I think um, and also, you know, there's a Bolivians, you know, we all have large native blood, more than other South American countries. So I think there's, I would say there isn't, more and more there's a pride about it, but not necessarily was the case historically. So there's, you know, there's because of uh, colonization. So there's, you know, have been shame about it, you know, and profound shame. And so I want to kind of honor that side of my father's side of the family. You talk about them in ways that I don't hear relatives talking about them, or so that I thought that could be a project. You know, bring pictures and tell the story about you know where they came from and you know such. So that was one idea. The other idea was about my current work at the high school, but it's a little risky because um, I, it's difficult not to talk about it without talking about people who are influencing um, what I'm going to say, and maybe it's too revealing, and you know the politics are just horrendous. And it's maybe talking about working up against the current, you know what I mean, and how do I keep myself calm and collected in the face of so much adversity, what I believe, you know. So
Well,
those two things are fun.
it seems to me that you have those two things. And then the thing that you're doing, which is to relate, to have this relating that Jean talks about as an evolutionary step, right? Of asking Jim and asking Masumi why they didn't respond to you. And maybe that's in there with the others, especially the high school, you know, that being able to find a way to have a conversation when you feel hurt, or I mean, that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Right, Susan, I knew you were going to chime in on that.
Mhm.
So does it feel right to just take your 10 minutes to talk about that, and then we'll have Annette go after you and to
Yeah, yeah. I mean
we
yeah,
we need
and
the
maybe
name of your project. What would be taking risks to relate or something?
yeah. I mean, or unable to take the risks, but how to not to shut down internally, you know what I mean? That
Yes,
you find ways to survive or to
right,
move forward,
right. To not
you know.
shut down, to
Right,
relate without shutting down.
right. And then coming to, and then maybe perhaps my family side of the family too, my father's side of the family too, um, they couldn't at times be themselves, you know what I mean? Or, for example, I mean, I don't want me to talk a long time, but I have an aunt who was a teacher. She's she probably by now would be in her 90s, but she had a really good voice, and she was part of this group of singers, and they were school teachers. Um, so she sang in Aymara. She spoke Spanish, of course, but and then Aymara language, and then um, uh, at a time where was not celebrated or encouraged, because the cities were becoming more and more westernized and more assimilation to being European. But so I guess maybe maybe talking about this is that I guess her voice, or and then she's you know um, expressing herself in ways that is not being approved, or you know so anyway, just that.
Roberto, I am identifying with you. I'm hearing your words, but I'm hearing something else. And you can please tell me if I'm off, but I'm hearing that you're scared to directly talk to Jim and who's the other person?
Masumi,
Mitsumi. And like you're going close to it, but talking about these other people in your family and, the real situation now in our group is talking to them. Is that right? That,
Yeah, I'm scared.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
well, I
it's
just,
scary to ask
yes,
them.
it is.
Yeah,
I
it's scary.
I really feel with you in that.
Yeah, I'm shaking. I'm shaking.
Well,
I'm Susan. I didn't want to interrupt you. I
oh,
just wanted to
yeah,
add,
it's
please
okay.
continue.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Just when you said that, I love that you were able to identify the scared and then to see Roberto smile and that he's shaking. I feel that. And there's something about the fear to me. And Roberto, I think you talked a little bit talking about your family, the shame of being who you are, how much native blood or however you explained it. But I really get that. And I feel like the shame and the fear are very close. If there were no risk of shame, and should it be shaming, should it not? But I really get that feeling of sort of asking somebody directly how there's such risk and the shame for me, and I sort of that resonates. The shame makes it such a risk.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. No, I very much so, right? I mean, yeah.
I'd just like to, to insert, I don't know that this is really the right place, but we've only gotten to focus, I think, once together. We've only been paired together, and I've often wondered why. And I guess in one part of me, and I don't really believe it, but I thought, well, maybe he doesn't want to, and he told the person that was setting it up that he didn't want to focus with me. But at the same time, I kind of knew it wasn't true. But I enjoyed the time that we focused a lot. We were able to be open with one another, and just wanted to put my
Yes.
2 cents in there.
No, I know we talked about it. I feel bad. I mean, I know that you reached out, and then I just couldn't get it together, and we ended up talking about it. Yes, definitely. And I can see how you would feel that, maybe I didn't want to do, partner with you and such, I'm glad you talking about it, you know.
Just that I think it needs to be cleared up between Masumi and Roberto, as
Yeah.
well as Jim and Roberto. I think that shouldn't be left hanging.
So you're
feel that also.
you're
That-
encouraging Roberto to ask Jim and Masumi, you know, why they didn't respond.
Would you like to go first, Jim?
I'm happy to go first.
But did Roberto ask?
No, he
already?
hasn't
I
asked, but he doesn't
I
have
think
to ask if he doesn't want to ask.
Okay.
No, I think
I get the
I just
picture.
asked.
But it's maybe
Yeah.
important. It's
Well,
maybe
No, but
important.
I think I did in, you know, in a way that, I mean, I
Okay.
respect if they don't want to talk about it, but I just put it out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you already asked.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure,
Yes,
Roberto.
that's in your way.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna answer this way. When I guess it was the second year of force, or maybe or the third year, it was a couple of years back. I was a coach. And for whatever reason, I had decided that I didn't want to be a coach anymore. I can't remember why, but I didn't. And at the same time, I was assigned you as a person to coach. And I decided that's enough reason to coach. So I coached you that year. I think you might remember that year. I hope you remember that year.
Yeah, I do.
So it's the opposite of avoiding you or not relating to you. You stopped me from quitting coaching just by your existence. So I wanted to start with that. Second thing I wanted to say is starting my first year in force, whenever I was paired with somebody, I was always the first to contact them every single time. No one even ever contacted me first for that first year. And I remember the first person I was paired with, when I finally reached them, they said they had no time. This was a person whose name was, I believe, Lucy. Who here remembers Lucy from the first year of force? I think after the first meeting, she never showed up. And so that was my introduction to being assigned to people. And yet for the entire first year, I was always the first to contact the other person. And at a certain time this year, I decided I didn't want to be that guy anymore who was always the first to contact people. And so I stopped. And I think there were some exceptions where I still contacted people, maybe before I decided that or something like that. And then I just stopped. But anybody who contacted me, I focused with them. I figured it was other people's turn now. I was always the first person for forever, and now it's their turn. So that's why.
I mean, I can understand that, you know, that because in a way, I know that, you know, I kind of wait, maybe in a way is keeping it safe too, and others contact me, and then I don't feel perhaps, you know, rejected but I can see where you're coming from, you know.
I want to say another thing about it, as long as I'm bringing up the subject, about it's not only that I stopped being the first person to contact because I was that person for so long, but there was another phenomenon that I remember my first year in force, I was kind of, can't think of the correct expression, but I was a very devoted force member. And, you know, and while I was there, I watched people leaving. I watched people not showing up and not even saying why they weren't there, or people saying that they weren't there because they had to go to the store or something like that. And it made me feel like there's something the matter with me, because here I was so committed and other people were not. And I think I got worn down in that respect. And I said, you know, there's something, I'm too different from everybody else. There's something the matter with me. I'm too committed. And maybe that's not the way you're supposed to be. Maybe I need to fit in better. And a couple of meetings ago, I showed up late and my feeling was, oh, now I'm like everybody else. I came late. So that's the new me. And it certainly does not reflect on you in any way.
I'm glad you talking about it, Jim. I mean, I really appreciated a couple meetings ago when you said something about, I don't know whether you should say it or not, that here I am showing up on time and others are not. And then I thought, oh, he's right. I mean, so it makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad you're saying it.
Okay, may I say something? I'm so surprised that I missed responding to you, because as I remember, I have always had private session each time. I never missed anybody. And I don't remember getting mail from you, or I tried to contact you and not getting the response either. I remember not missing any single private session between the classes. So it's a very big surprise for me that you said you contacted me and I didn't respond.
No, I didn't contact you. We were paired, but again, I guess I didn't reach out and you didn't, and then I just left it alone, but maybe in a way to protect myself. But so I guess in a way I was neglecting you too. You know what I mean? So the same
that is
with Jim too.
Was not my intention. I always have difficulty finding the time to meet because of the time difference. And it might be, I don't remember not contacting you. So, I mean, it's a mystery for me that of course, I remember having a private session with you, Roberto, a couple of times.
Yeah, we did, yeah. A few times.
Yes, but sorry, this is my old age or whatever, that I don't remember missing any private session. So it was not at all my intention not to contact you or not to respond to you.
I mean, I can see that. I know I was just checking in, just and then in my mind, or do they want to be focusing with me or not? Or, what's going on, and so I'm glad we're talking about it.
Yeah,
Roberto,
yeah.
sorry, can you clarify so I got it right that you didn't contact Jim either? Or
No,
was there a mixture that
no,
sometimes you
no,
contact-
the same with Masumi and Kate. I mean, so I didn't hear from them, and then I said, okay, I guess they don't want to do it. So I didn't try, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I guess maybe I was neglecting them too, but then I was protecting myself,
By making
So-
up a story that, if I can say it that way, that, oh, they're not contacting me because, and you're off to the races.
Right, but
Use that
usually they're prompt at contacting me, so and then I know you and I had, and I felt too and I think I said it last time I said,
Yeah.
oh, you don't want to focus with me? No, you said, that's on you, you said. And we laughed, and that was it. That was the end of it. But, I want to talk about it, that's all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I wasn't clear on,
No, I'm glad you clarified. Yeah.
based on how
mean,
people were reflecting, I think there was some confusion.
Right,
Now,
I mean, I was
got
at fault too, I guess. I was
Yeah.
also not initiating and neglecting them too, keeping myself safe, but
Mhm.
I didn't hear from them, and so then I started to think, things.
That's
Um,
such a universal kind of
Yes.
situation, right? Where we're
Yes.
scared of being rejected, and then the person uh doesn't assure us in some way by initiating, and then, oh, they don't want me.